Hello everybody, and welcome to the last of our sessions for day 9. I feel like I'm losing count, but I think it's 9. I think we're on day 9. So thank you so much for joining us. We are on the last session, joined by the wonderful Anneli Blundell. She is voted as one of YMAG's top 10 women to watch in 2019. She has a passion for decoding people and performance dynamics, make her a sought-after speaker, mentor, and leadership expert. She makes the complex job of understanding why people do what they do both accessible and entertaining. She works with leaders to increase their influence, engagement, and interpersonal impact for better results. She's the co-author of several books on shifting human behaviour and works for clients such as Mercedes-Benz, EY, Telstra, Victoria Police, NAB, JB Hi-Fi, and the Good Guys. And it's nice to actually talk about a little bit about communication, because we've been doing leadership for most of today, Anneli, and I know that they go hand in hand. So really looking forward to your take on credible communication, and I'll hand over to you.
Thank you so much. I am absolutely delighted to be here with you all today, or at whatever point in time you choose to watch this recording. So welcome everyone to the conversation today around credible communication, how to make your value visible. This is how we shape the future. We need to tap in to your unique message, your footprint, your fingerprint, and make sure the world can hear what you have to say. Now, normally I would open this conversation today with a little bit of an experiment, but just in case you don't know that it is an experiment and you choose to leave the session because you think I'm crap, I'm going to tell you what I normally do instead of doing it. So if we were all together in a big pavilion, let's say, then I would do this as an opening to this conversation. I would start something like this. So today I want to talk about, and that's right. So today I'm here to talk about the topic of, credible communication, authority, influence. Anyway, time out. Now, the reason I didn't start with that is because I don't want you to think that that's what's coming. And it's too easy for you to just go, boop, I'm out of here. But when you're all live in the audience, it's much harder to get away from me and that terrible introduction. But when I do that introduction, the whole point of it is, and hopefully you still felt the awkwardness and the discomfort. And the reason I do that is because I want to start with an experiment. How do you feel about me and the message that is to come when I do that kind of introduction? I once did that opening at a conference. There was about 300 people in the room, and a woman right in the front row looked up at me as I opened with that introduction. I'll never forget it. And she looked up at me with this most earnest expression after I did that introduction, and she went like this: "Keep going. You've got this." And I don't want people to be in the sidelines cheering you on because they think you're stumbling through your everyday communications. I want people to think this person is a professional. This person has authority. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. This is someone I need to lean into and listen to. So our job together today is to talk about how to have authority, how to have influence, and how to have impact in the way you communicate. Did you know that it only takes 0.07 seconds for people to make a judgment about who you are? That's right. Just like you would have done if you had have seen that real live opening and seen me stumbling all over the place. In that very short amount of time, you would have made a judgment about my capability. You would have also made a judgment, interestingly, about who I am as a person. You see, within 400 milliseconds, we're making a decision about the kind of person we think we're dealing with. Are you someone who is supportive? Are you arrogant? Are you neat? Are you reliable? We're making decisions about people's personality and their behaviors based on split-second information. This is important to know because if we are turning up in our regular conversations, let's say you are going for a job interview, maybe you're meeting with new clients, maybe you're hiring people into your own teams, maybe you are having more and more conversations over this kind of medium, the online virtual video conference medium, and you're not up to your usual interactive self because you're sort of pared down into this new visual medium. So even if you're in all those environments and in all those scenarios, people are making a decision about the value you bring and who they are to you based on how you're showing up. And if the way you communicate has any sense of uncertainty or maybe a bit of tentativeness, or in some way gives the impression that you might be lacking confidence in what you're saying or what you're representing, here's the thing. If people think you lack confidence, they automatically and unconsciously downgrade your competence. That's right. You think about it. If you go to the mechanic, or you go to see your vet for your animal, or you go to the GP, you're going to a doctor's clinic. If they, as experts in their field who have expertise and experience in areas that you may not, we are relying on their sense of confidence, aren't we? When they're giving us predictions, or they're giving us diagnoses, or they're telling us what we should do, we're expecting them to know what they do. But if they turn up in ways that seem like they're not confident or they're not sure, we start to doubt their competence. I remember just recently I went to the vet and he said to me, I think maybe I'm wondering if we should put the cat on a grain diet. And I thought, well, I don't know. You're the vet, you're the expert. Are you asking me, or are you telling me? I mean, I can give you my opinion, but what do you think? So just that tiny sense of uncertainty made me start to question. And also because it wasn't the first time he'd done this. So I'm starting to wonder, does he know what he's talking about? So if people get a sense for whatever reason that you're not confident in what you're talking about, they downgrade your competence. Because the truth of the matter is, we judge the messenger long before we judge the message. And in fact, we judge the messenger as a way to decide whether we should listen to the message. Do we give you credence? Do we find you believable? Are you worth my time right now? Some of you may recognize this woman. Her name is Susan Boyle. For those of you who have not yet come across Susan Boyle, please go ahead and Google this after you've heard this presentation and watch her audition for, now, Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, I'm not sure, one of those shows. If you just type in Susan Boyle, you will see her audition tape. So Susan Boyle was this housewife in the UK who was on one of those talent shows. She's a singer. And the package they showed, the promo package they showed about this woman before she did her audition was really interesting. And if you watch it back, or if you remember back, you will recall that they made her feel or seem really, gosh, what's the word? I'd say frumpy, homely, almost even a bit ridiculous. They really played up on this frumpy, housewifey kind of appearance. They were basically showing her as lacking credibility. Now, of course, we're now sitting at home as people about to watch either a terrible car crash unravel in front of our very eyes because she can't actually sing at all, or we're about to watch something magnificent unfold when we least expected it. And this is exactly what the television producers want you to experience. They want you to be on the edge of your seat, wondering which way this is going to go. And of course, if you recall that amazing moment, what happened was she opened her mouth to sing, and it was amazing. She was absolutely transformative. Her voice was unlike any I'd heard before. It was truly beautiful. Now, that makes great television, and that makes terrible business. You think about it. When it comes to your personal brand, when it comes to your reputation as a leader, as part of a team, as a community member, your reputation speaks volumes, and it goes before you do. So we don't want people going, oh, Anneli, are you sure Anneli's the right person for this customer interview? I'm not really sure she's going to leave the right impression. You know, we want them to think we know what we're doing. We want them to know that we're in control and that we're authoritative and that we can get the job done. So, you know, we know she's good at her job, but I'm not sure she's leaving the right impression. That is not the conversation you want people to be having about you. At the end of the day, your career, your reputation, your personal brand comes down to one word: perception. It doesn't matter what you can do. It matters what people think you can do. And one of the issues we face around this idea around credible communication, or how to be seen as credible, how to have people buy you and your expertise and whatever it is you're selling, whether it's information or actual products or services, getting people to buy into you is about knowing that it is more than your capability. You see, one of the traps we fall into is we think that if we know we can do the job, we know we've got the experience, we've got the expertise, we've even got the CV to prove it, we know we can do the job if you just give us a shot. But people aren't buying you off the back of that expertise. Sometimes they have less than a second to make a decision about whether they even want to continue the conversation with you. I mean, this might be, as an example, at a networking event. So what happens is we fall into the trap that our capability is creating our credibility, that people will buy us and buy into us and believe in us because of what we know we're capable of. But I hate to tell you, it doesn't actually work that way. So I've been doing this work for a long time. I've been running my own coaching, speaking, and communication training business for the past 15 years. I grew up at the ANZ Bank, one of the big banks here in Australia. And having worked with multiple organizations over that time and pumping out a few books, I've realized that credibility is made or broken in a split second. And it really does not matter how capable you are. I've worked with executives across many organizations who are facing into this issue. In fact, just a client just the other day that I had this particular issue. Now, she came to me because she said, I am the secretary of a board. I'm also the CFO of this organization. But you know what, Anneli? Even though I have these two very senior roles in the organization, I'm just not getting any cut through. I'm not being taken seriously. You know, I'm in these board meetings, I'm in these board conversations, I'm being ignored, I'm being spoken over. People are not referring to me, given my expertise and my role on the board. So we worked together over the course of about 6 months. And it was so fascinating that she had the title, she had the technical ability, or she wouldn't have been there. She had the track record, but nobody seemed to care. But she didn't have the traction. And one of the things she was really worried about, of course, and you know, a lot of people who come to me for coaching worry about this. One of the things she said was, Anneli, I want to be seen, I want to be heard, I want to be taken seriously, and I want to work with you on that, but I don't want to change who I am. I don't want to become somebody that I'm not. You know, I'm a woman. I don't want to have to become a man. I'm an introvert. I don't want to have to become extroverted. It's just not me. The good news is you don't have to change who you are, but you may have to change some things that you do, some simple things that you do. And that's the stuff I want to talk about today. I want to give you some tips and some tricks to get you on the front foot when it comes to your personal and leadership impression. So today is about how to be seen as a leader, how to be heard as an authority, and how to be perceived as credible in the work that you do. So here are my 3 hot tips, my friends. You ready? 3 hot tips. Here we go. Tip number 1, steer, don't seek. Steer them, don't seek from them. When we communicate, we are typically taking up one of 2 roles. We are either asking a question, in which case our tonality goes up at the end of our sentence to indicate that we're asking a question. So for example, would you like a glass of water? Would you like a glass of water? Or we are making a statement or giving a command, in which case we are not seeking their input, we are wanting to steer their behavior. And when we are using command tonality, our tonality or our intonation at the end goes down. Can you please come over here? Can I get you a glass of water? Can you please come over here? So just notice how I'm using my tone. Now, if you want to be more influential, remember I said before at the beginning that if people think you're not confident, they will downgrade your competence. And one of the ways that people can assume we're not confident is if we're asking a lot of questions, or if we are asking questions or using an upward inflection in our voice to give information. So for example, if I said to you, hello, my name is Anneli. You might be wondering, is it Anneli? You don't sound very sure. In fact, it sounds like you're asking me, is your name Anneli? And this is what we do when we communicate, when we're giving information, when we're sharing expertise. Sometimes if we're a little rattled or we're a little off center or we're just a little unsure, we might have that inflection go up. And particularly in Australia, we do this a lot in Australia. And can I say, shout out to Julia, because she's not from Australia and she has a beautiful accent that I've noticed. And so what I've noticed in the UK is it's much easier for people to make the tonality go down at the end. Can I get you some water? And when they do that, they sound much more credible. Isn't that interesting? So we've got questioning tonality up at the end and command tonality down at the end. Now, here's the trick. To sound like you know what you're doing, to steer people's behavior, to have that level of influence that we want, you can be asking questions with a downward inflection. This is how you steer their response, not seek it. So let's imagine you want to set up a meeting with somebody and you want them to meet on Wednesday. So you could say, would you like to meet, or can we meet on Wednesday? Can you meet on Wednesday? So this is question tonality and it's grammatically a question. And of course that therefore is seeking their response. You are genuinely inviting them to decide, can I meet on Wednesday? No, I can't. Let's find another time. But let's see it, a question with a command tonality down at the end so that we can steer their response. Can we meet on Wednesday? Can we meet on Wednesday? Can we meet on Wednesday? Just think about, go inside for a second, feel into what that felt like for you. How did that land? Did you feel slightly more inclined to say yes when I used command tonality? Chances are, if you're like most people, you did. And it's because the signaling, the cues of my intonation, of my tone are more powerful than the words that I'm using. You are tracking where I'm at based on my tonality more than you're paying attention to the words that I'm saying. So it is a powerful way to steer people's behavior. So remember, downward inflection. Now, if we were in a room together, I might get you to do a little exercise, but you know what? I want to give you this exercise and I want you to do it maybe later or maybe on the spot if you'd like to, but I want you to have a go at it for yourself because it could be a whole lot of fun. And nobody is watching you, so you get to look like an idiot all you like if that's what happens. So here's what I get people to do. I want you to take a question and deliver it with a command tonality. So it might be something like, can I get you a glass of water? Can I get you a glass of water? Can we meet on Wednesday? Can we meet on Wednesday? So just pick a random question and make your tonality go down at the end. Now, here's what normally happens. If you do it, either one or two things happen. It feels super comfortable and you realize you have channeled your inner parent maybe, or maybe you've been a lecturer or you've been a teacher in the past and you've had to wrangle a whole group of kids and you know how to step into that voice of authority and you're like, Anneli, I've got this, bring it on. Now I know how to bring it to work. Or you're not used to doing it and it is going to feel uncomfortable. It may even feel a little bit hard or, mean, like it's not really who you are. Maybe it's a bit aggressive. And this is just because you're not used to doing it. And the funny thing is, here's what I normally see when I look around the room and I watch people doing this exercise. If you're not used to doing it, here's what happens. Can I get you a glass of water? Can I get you a glass of water? because I feel like everybody turns into Arnie Schwarzenegger. Because what happens is, I've discovered, it seems to be an impossible task to make your tonality go down at the end without lowering your eyebrows. You can't keep your eyebrows up and make your tonality go down. Just try it right now. Try your eyebrow and make your tonality. It's really hard. It's really, now I know I probably sound like a bit of an idiot right now, but trust me, it can be kind of tricky if you're not used to it. So here's what you do. Practice in the mirror. Can I get you a glass of water? Can I get you a glass of water? Can I get you a glass of water? Just practice in the mirror till your face looks normal. Then take it out on the road to your friend. Get feedback from your friend. Does my face look normal? Does my tone seem normal? Or do I seem overly aggressive? Get feedback from your friend, your trusted advisor, and then take it out on the road with other regular people. Okay, so steer, don't seek. Number 2, hold, don't hedge. Hold the line. Don't hedge your bets. When you are making a contribution, when you are saying something, telling someone something, and they need to see you as the expert, they need to see you as someone who knows what they're doing. Hold the line when you speak. Don't hedge your bets. Here's an example. This is hedging your bets, trying to please everyone. I'm just wondering, I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, just throwing it out there. Maybe it could be a good idea if we consider changing the color of this report to something else. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe blue or yellow or, no, you're right. Green. Yeah, we should make it green. Yeah, good idea, green. Do you even know what color I really want? Is there any sense of authority in what I'm offering you at all? There's none. So I'm hedging my bets. I'm trying to please everyone. I'm wishy-washy all over the place. Now let's go to holding the line. Holding the line. Okay, so if we're holding the line, this is what it looks like. We need to make the report blue. That's it. It's pretty simple. Like, it's so easy. We need to make the report blue. I'm wondering if maybe we should consider the idea of make it blue or maybe yellow. I don't know. What do you think? I am definitely not the expert. We need to make the report blue. I am the expert. I know my mind. I know my experience. And this is what you've asked me for. You've asked me for my opinion or my contribution. And here is what I believe. If someone doesn't agree with you, they are going to come back to you. Oh, I'm thinking we should make it green. All right, green. Okay, let's talk about that. I'm maintaining my line. I'm open to negotiation, but I'm not negotiating in my mind out loud with myself without you in the conversation. Oh my goodness. So hold the line. Don't hedge your bets. Now, for those of you who have seen Game of Thrones, now some of you would have seen Game of Thrones, not all of you. It doesn't really matter. But there is one line that they use in this movie, and they use it a lot for the promo. So you might have heard it. They use the sentence, "Winter is coming." It's very ominous. It's supposed to make you a little bit fearful or a little bit curious. Ooh, winter is coming. Now imagine if they used this instead. I think winter's coming. I mean, It feels a little bit cold. I mean, it's definitely cooler. I mean, I feel a chill in the air. I think winter could be coming. I don't know. What do you reckon? Do you think? Am I the authority on whether winter is coming or not? No, no, my friends, this is not the authority. I'm hedging my bets. I'm all over the place. I'm using really tentative language. Here, it's a short, sharp statement. Winter is coming. There is nothing to read into. It is very, very clear. This is the space of authority. At the end of the day, for people to hear you clearly, to buy into your expertise and to be influenced by your perspectives, you first have to ask yourself, what do you think? What is your perspective? What is your opinion in this conversation? If you're going to make a contribution, what do you think? Okay, number 3, expand, don't shrink. Expand, don't shrink. Now, for anyone on the line who is looking for love and you are maybe on some dating apps, you will be pleased to know that this one tip has been proven to increase your chances of being picked, of being given a yes or swiped right or left or whichever way is the good way. You will be swiped the good way if you adopt this body posture, and you'll be rated as more attractive. You're welcome. So, expand, don't shrink. It is about body posture. Expand into the room, expand into the space, don't shrink. So the more you close off, the more tentative you seem, the less confidence you display and feel. It changes your neurochemistry. It also changes, remember, the perception of other people. If you shrink into the space, you are sending clear signals. If you open up, shoulders back, head straight, looking straight ahead, and if you can put your arms to the side, if it makes sense to do so, by all means do so. If you're sitting on the table, keep your hands open. This will give you an air of confidence and therefore competence, and people will think you are more authoritative. Now, in a leadership development program I ran a little while ago, I did an exercise. It was a bit of an experiment actually, but it went brilliantly. I was really, really delighted. So what I did was I broke people up into small groups. It was an icebreaker activity. So these people, the participants, did not know one another. It was the start of a program. They were all from the public, so they had no background knowledge of who was in the room, what level they were at, or anything like that. So this was the get to know you activity. Now, what happened was I gave everybody some secret instructions before they were to do the task. And the instructions said, talk about my weekend for 2 minutes. Okay. Now, everyone got the same set of instructions except one person per group. Now, that one person in that group, in each group, got the real secret instructions. And their notes said exactly the same, talk about your weekend for 2 minutes. And after 5 seconds, move into an open body posture. And then I gave some pictures of what that might look like. And because they were sitting down, I gave them examples like this. I gave them examples of, one arm, maybe one arm back, just anything to kind of show that they were open and relaxed and confident. And then I said, okay, finish the exercise. Now, we're going to do another exercise, and in your groups, on the count of 3, I want you all to turn and point to the person you think should lead the next exercise. You ready? 1, 2, 3. And everyone in every group pointed to the person who had the secret instructions. And of course, I was laughing because I knew what was going on because I had set it up. It was this amazing experiment. I said to them, just out of curiosity, why did you choose the person that you chose? And they didn't really have a great answer. I heard things like, well, I just felt like they would be a good leader. I don't know, there was just something about them. I just thought they seemed like the obvious choice. And I'm like, why? Based on what? You don't know their background. You don't know their title, their role, where they work. You know nothing about them. You've never worked with them before. And yet you're picking up on some unconscious clues and signals about their capability that is making you say, this person is going to lead us. Isn't that phenomenal? And this is available to you. This is available to you. I mean, just have a look. Look at the difference in body postures here. Look, we've got the classic, and FYI, this is very representative of male-female body language, I've noticed. Look, very often women are shrinking into the space, while the boys, the men, learning as boys, no doubt, already know to take up a whole lot of space. Interesting that this is already showing itself as kids. So I want to leave you with these 3 pointers. Keep it certain. Keep your tonality down. Command tonality. If you want people to buy into you in that moment, you need to speak with your tonality going down. Make it clear. Hold the line. Don't hedge your bets. And take up space. You need to expand into the space. Now, if you want some more information on this, I know it's been a nice short session, and if you want to dig a little deeper, I've put together a little bit of a pack for you. So there's a resource pack here. I've got an audit, a credibility audit. It goes through a whole bunch of tonality, grammar, words, and body language, and it lets you understand where you might need to improve or what you want to focus on. I've got an outline here of the credibility killers. There's a bunch of them there. You could literally just tick them off. For the women, I've got 5 tips on how to be heard as a woman in a meeting, and articles and guides and recordings and all that kind of stuff. So there's lots here for you to dig into if you want to do a bit more of a deep dive. All you need to do is just send a text. So for those of you who are outside of Australia, if we have any people that are from abroad, then just send me an email. I'm happy to sort you out that way. But the most important thing to remember is that whether you have experience or not, whether you've done this role a million times or not, it actually doesn't matter. I want you to remember that you are still valuable, that you are worthy, and you are important, because, my friends, you've got this. Thanks, everyone.